So it's pretty basic. This is your area controller, which I'm still waiting on the IT department to let me know if they want the back net hooked up. They have a cable here, and I need to know what to assign the address and everything to on here. Then it can be accessed from any computer in the school. It's on the network. This is your area controller. This is the brain of the whole system. It holds your time clocks and astronomical time zone, so it knows when the sun comes up, when it goes down. Some basic troubleshooting on this. You have Ethernet ports here. So this is where the network will be hooked in or where you hook in a computer. Make sure that those lights are lit up. If something's connected to the bottom port, just make sure both lights are lit up. And then there's an indicator light on this side, in the bottom right hand corner. If for some reason your time clocks aren't functioning, 9 times out of 10, this thing's locked up and not sending out a timestamp saying this is what time it is, right? Fix that. You have the red and blue Phoenix connector right here. You can unplug that for 10 seconds. It'll beep at you twice. It'll beep once and then 4 seconds later it'll beep again. That means it's rebooting. Just make sure all your lights light up. The only maintenance on this thing whatsoever, there's a watch battery. It's a CR2032 watch battery in here, right on the motherboard. Change that about once a year. And that's only for if power is lost. It's right here. So if power is lost, that watch battery is what keeps the clock. So that when power is restored, it just kicks back on and runs.
Do the settings stay the same then?
They will, yeah. It's all on the solid state hard drive. So you'll never lose your programming in the system. The only thing that this really needs to do is broadcast that timestamp and be the gateway for your network to talk to the lights if you want to adjust them from any computer on the network. This is your relay panel, which the electricians, we're still hammering some things out. COVID got us bad, right? So it'll have a load schedule. Basically, there's 4 of these in the panel, or in the building. There's one here, one in the electrical room on that side of the school, upstairs, and on both east and west side. These have a manual override button on them. So this one's not on right now, but it's on the bottom of the, you have the 4-pin Phoenix connectors. There's a button, you can click it, you can hear the relay close, right? If you don't hear an audible click, it means that relay is probably toast, and that's when you call us. We bring out the relay, put it in, program it. You have a green status light here, and a blinking red. Green means that the system is powered, red is a heartbeat saying I'm online and I'm talking. If you have an issue inside the motherboard on this, the red will not flash and the green will flash rapidly. That happens. Sometimes it's just an error. It could be same thing, power bump, anything like that. It can make this thing throw an error. You'll just unplug this Phoenix connector here, 10 seconds, plug it back in. All your lights will come on. All the lights should light up. If doing that power cycle doesn't make that green light stop flashing, that's when you call us. We come out, we'll change that part out.
Does this include parking lot?
Yep. Yep. And so,
is that out of, sorry, is this out of that? Is that out of the same panel, or is that one up front?
The exterior comes out of all 4 panels. Okay. The parking lot, I believe, comes out of this one. I'd have to look. So, yep, your parking lot is relay 5, which was that one I was just cycling. And then they've marked it in red if it's an emergency circuit. So you do have exterior lights in all of the panels. I'd have to check. This powers your switches. This device right here. Well, this one actually. This is the network gateway. If you come in here, if your switches, you have 2 override switches. You have one in this janitor's room right here, right? The other one's in the front office. If you hit the button and the lights don't light up on it, it means the switch is dead. You want to come in here and make sure that you have a red light blinking here and green lights right here. Same thing, if you have an issue to cycle power on this, you'll unplug the Phoenix connector and the Cat 5 that talks to it, because this is a PoE switch which will be inside here once we get it all buttoned up. But this injects power into the network. And so by turning this off, you'll see it still has lights, it's still lit up, right? So if you unplug this, maybe, it'll actually kill it, right? And then you plug it back in, all the lights will come on, and you're back up and running. It should reboot the switches. I'll go over exactly what your switches do because I can't remember off the top of my head right now. So to access this as it sits, you have to have a static IP address on your computer, and for the factory setting it's 192.168.1.2 is what you set your computer to. That device itself, it's just like programming a router at home. You enter the address, which is 192.168.1.1, and you just enter the IP address, hit it, and it'll pull this screen up. Your username is admin, no capitals. Your password is admin, no capitals. And then it'll pull this screen up, right? So if you're having issues with time clocks, you can come in here, you open the first tree, and then you click on main, and it will tell you, so it's 127 is the system time, 128 is on my computer time, so yeah. So that's set. It will also tell you your sunrise and sunset times. If you have something where for some reason the lights shut out, you can click that on button and it will turn on everything connected to the system. Everything. That's the classrooms, that's the corridors, parking lot, everything will come on. That's a global override. You can open this. We haven't pulled the classrooms in yet because like I said, we're missing the switches. So once we get the switches put in, then we'll pull the classrooms all in and you'll see them labeled. So you can actually look at each classroom like we're looking at the corridors in the parking lot right now. If you look next to it, you can see there's a number. So it'll say corridor and then a number in parentheses. That means that's the group number it's in. The group is a macro so that I can switch multiple things at once with one schedule, right? So we can come down to your schedules, and right now you have an exterior off, which is at sunrise, 5 minutes after sunrise, an exterior on that is 5 minutes before sunset, and that turns on group 3, which is your exterior. Then you have your interior off, which is at 9:30 p.m., and your interior on at 6 a.m. So to change that, say they want the lights to come on at 7, you just click the time, click 7, then hit save, hit accept, and then hit save, and it'll send that out to all the devices, right? And now, right now, this is only the corridors. We generally don't do scheduling in classrooms because there's occupancy sensors. It's all localized. So it looks like your switch in the front office. Your top button turns on your corridors. Your second button turns on the egress lighting, so the vestibules and egress. Your third button turns on your, your third button is your vestibules. Your second button is the emergency lights in the building. So you have two switch legs, right? You have the regular power and then the emergency. Top button is regular power, second button is emergency. Fourth button is a dim up for the whole building, and your fifth button is a dim down for the whole building, and your bottom button will shut out everything. You hit that and it'll kill everything in the building. Well, everything that's on a panel, not the classrooms. It'll kill it, turn it out. Both switches are identical. If your time clock does go off, and I'm guessing they'll put this on the building network, we always do. So the custodian can adjust times for like junior jazz, that kind of thing, right? If your clock does go off, you come in, you're on this screen right here, right? Where it opens up. It'll look like this. You'll click this system setup button at the bottom, and then you'll go to your general settings, and then you just want to make sure that your time, date, and see our time zone's off for some reason. And then you just hit save, then you I have to go back and fix this. Accept. And that'll make sure that you're synced up with daylight savings, all of that, right? You have to refresh. refresh when you do that. And so the only other thing you'll ever have to worry about is just make sure that it says Salt Lake City, because that's how it can tell the astro clock, right? That's how it knows when the sun comes up and goes down. If you do make any changes, you can come in here to data management, and then you hit download backup, and it'll show up in your download files. And then you can just name it, and then just stick them in a folder. Just name it, and that way when we come back, if you have made any changes and there's an issue, we have to fix something, we can get the latest database from you guys, and it'll pull all of those schedules that you've changed into the new, after we fix it, it'll pull it into the new programming. Because a lot of times we'll wipe it, and because we save all of the databases, right? So that if there is a catastrophic failure on something, we can just wipe the system clean and reload the original programming back here. So, I have a sticker I will put inside here that has our office number. The system has a 5-year warranty on it. It does include any parts that aren't ruined by someone messing with them, or like a water main break, right? Because that's when insurance covers it. Other than that, if they just stop working, it's on us for 5 years. We'll replace anything, labor, everything's included. So, programming, same thing. It's included. Like, if it just stops working, just call us. We'll come fix it. It's part of the warranty. And once we get the building, once we get it on the building network, I'll do another in-depth training. Are you on site, David? I'll come back and we'll do an in-depth training on how to run it, right? Okay. This is our basic rundown. The only people that ever touch these are schools. And so we do an additional training for you guys. Okay. Because you're dealing with it every day, right? So, yeah, it's pretty simple. On the room controllers, in each room, or is class in session right now?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we can go over a couple things. So when you go in, say the lights aren't shutting out at night, teacher leaves, they should shut out on their own. They have knock sensors. If that's not happening, just verify on the occupancy sensor itself. It's got a disc in the center of it. And just make sure that that lights up red. And then there's a little lens that's got a green light. Just make sure when you wave your hand, and because it uses ultrasonic and infrared technology. The red one means the ultrasonic is picking you up. The green one means that the infrared is picking you up. Just make sure that that lights up. If it doesn't, that means the aux sensor doesn't have power, and that means either the aux sensor's gone bad or a cable's lost, there's a loose connection, right? If the lights don't come on at all, and you don't see that, that's generally a breaker, right? If you don't see the aux sensor coming on, you hit the switch, nothing happens, generally a breaker's off. So that's pretty much all the troubleshooting you'll ever need to know in those. If you unplug the aux sensor at the actual room controller and it shuts the lights out, it means we have a bad aux sensor. Like if the lights are always staying on. If you unplug that aux sensor, because it's all on a Cat 5, so all you do is unplug it. If the lights shut out immediately, it means that the relay in that sensor has gone bad. It does happen.
I have one upstairs that don't come on.
They don't come on at all, the lights?
Yeah.
If you hit the button, nothing?
Nothing.
Okay.
I've had teachers
Really?
their hands.
So, will it come on with the switch?
No.
But not when you wave your hand?
Either way.
I'll
I've
have to
walked
look at
through
it.
it and tapped it. And,
Nothing happens?
yeah.
Okay. We probably have a short somewhere in there on the
Because the one on the other side is on during the day. But this one won't come on. It's 4:13.
I wonder if is everything installed
I think so.
on the electrician's end? Okay. We'll have to look at it.
Yeah.
So it's in a bathroom
Yeah.
and it never comes on?
Yeah.
I've been having issues before. Frank told somebody, and
I thought we
had
fixed
issues
it.
yesterday too. Frank said it came
I know I walked around and fixed a bunch yesterday, or what was it, last week?
Yeah, it's coming on and off today.